So, good afternoon everyone. I'm here to continue my report up in the module 3. So, we stop about the 7 institutional correction in the Philippines. So, the New Bilibid Prison or NBP in Muntinlupa, Metro Manila is the main insular penitentiary designed to house the prison population in the Philippines. So, it is maintained by the Bureau of Correction or the BUCOR. So, under the Department of Justice. So, the main purpose of the New Bilibid prison is to reduce the crowded overcrowding in some prison in the Philippines. And it is the main penitentiary. So it is the center in penitentiary or correction in terms of I center prison in terms of correction. So next slide. In 1940, prisoners were transferred to the New Bilibid prison from the old Bilibid prison, also known as Carcel, Presidio Correctional, Spanish for correctional jail and military prison in Manila. So the remnants of the old facility was used by the city of Manila as its detention center, known today as Manila City Jail. So Manila City Jail, we all know that it is also one of the biggest penitentiary here in the Philippines. So it is also under the Bureau of BUCOR or under the Bureau of Correction, and it is its purpose is it and some prisoners were transferred to the New Bilibid prison because Manila City jails has limited facilities to accommodate prisoners. So next slide. So the penitentiary had an initial land area of 551 hectares and 1,368 acres, but 104 hectares were transferred to a housing project to the Department of Justice. Additional land of the New Bilibid Prison Reservation is used for the Bureau of Correction headquarters. So from that land or that area is they use that for the for the for the reorganize New Bilibid, or they organize the New Bilibid prison for them to achieve their goal and to compete accordingly to in terms of corrections in not only in the Philippines but also international prison. So next slide. So during Japanese occupation of the Philippines, so during World War II, Bilibid was a prisoners of war and civilian internee camp where American soldiers and civilians were held by the Japanese. So this time Japanese was one who led the or occupied the Philippines, or the so it was during the World War, and some of the prisoners of war, well be put in the Bilibid prison. So they they they, they put them for the purpose of not following the rule they give. So next is during 1200 internees and POWs were freed by the American Army on February 4, 1945 during the Battle of Manila. So the government of the Philippines plans to create a regional prison in Nueva Ecija through a public-private partnership. So during the Battle of Manila, some prisoners are released by the American Army American Army on February 4, 1945. Then after that, the government of the Philippines is planning to create another prison or another correctional institution in Nueva Ecija through the partnership of the private sectors and the public, which is them. So next slide. So the old Bilibid prison, then known as Carcel y Presidio Correctional from Spanish. So it means correctional jail and military prison, occupied a rectangular piece of land that was part of the Mayhalik estate in the heart of Manila. So the new Bilibid prison were located in the center part of Manila. It was it is it was be found in Mihalik or Mihalik State. I'm sorry, asa ito bakit? Itong sa Manila. So next slide. The old prison was established by the Spanish colonial government on June 25, 1865 via royal decree. So it is divided into two sections. The carcel, which could accommodate 600 inmates, and the presidio, which could hold 527 prisoners. So in that, the new Bilibid, the new Bilibid or the old Bilibid were separated into two, and they are separated according to the differentiates of their gender. So the one was the carcel, and the one is the presidio. So next slide. So the death chamber for inmates scheduled to die by electrocution was in building 14 within the maximum security compound of New Bilibid. As of 2015, it was used to house maximum security prisoners. The former lethal injection chambers is now used as the Bureau of Correction Bucor Museum. So this is one of their way to punish offender. It depends of the crime they committed. So sometimes the crime is murder, so the death penalty will be pursued in that situation. Then the penalty was given by some of through the lethal injection or the electrocution. Next slide. So the next is educational facilities inside compound provide elementary education, high school education, vocational training, and adult literacy programs. It is also provides a bachelor's degree in commerce. The new Bilibid prison also house of Talipapa market where the prisoners can buy commodities. So inside the correctional institution or the inside the prison, not all their activities inter or is for rehabilitation purposes. They also offered educational for them for the purpose to educate and to change the behavior of that certain offender and to learn the basic or the or to learn or if they want to pursue their studies, they can they can pursue inside the prison in the time of their service of penitentiaries. Next slide. So the prisoner pass the time in the basketball court in the penitentiary gymnasium. So and are also engaged in the production of handicrafts. Various religions denominations are active in the prison with masses said daily in the prisoner Catholic chapel. These religious groups such as the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Amazing Grace Christian Ministries, Philippine Jesuit Prison Services, and Caritas Manila also extend medical service to the prison. So, so not only education but they also give offenders exercise like basketball, like they also give chance, they also give opportunity to the offenders not only I mean to enjoy in inside the prison or inside the penitentiary. So they also offer religious denominations or they also offer or they also engage in into religious group or say masses like masses or any religion that they offer inside for the purpose of because religion also give good values then that is also need to our offender or the our inmate. So next slide. So next slide. So on September 5, 1991, President Corazon C. Aquino issued Presidential Proclamation number 792, which was amended by Presidential Proclamation number 120 on December 15, 1992 to the effect that 104.22 hectares or of land be developed into housing for employees of the Department of Justice and other government agencies. This housing project is known as the Katarungan Justice Village. So, the former President Corazon was give a presidential proclamation for them for them to expand the penitentiary in here in the Philippines to reduce overcrowding inside the prison. So it was developed in December 15, 1992. So next slide. So in San Ramon Prison and Penal Farm. So according to the historical accounts, the San Ramon Prison was established in southern Zamboanga on August 21, 1870 through a royal decree proclaimed in 1869. So established during the tenure of Governor General Ramon Blanco, whose patron saint the prison was named after. The facility was originally established for prison convicted of political crimes. So first, the San Ramon prison designed or exclusive for the persons who committed crimes against political crimes. So it was established in Zamboanga City on August 21, 1870. So next slide. So during the Spanish-American War in 1898, the prisoners in San Ramon were hastily released and the buildings destroyed in 1907. The American administration re-established the prison farm. So in 1898, the building in San Ramon's were destroyed and they need to evacuate the prisoners inside, and it in 1907 it was moved in the prison farm. So next slide. So considered the oldest penal facility in the country, the prisoners in San Ramon were required to do agricultural work. So in San Ramon prison, the prisoners for them to do the time in in penitentiary, they are also be mandated to do agricultural work like farming, anything that involves agriculture. So next slide. So in 1912, General John Pershing, chief executive of the Department of Mindanao and Sulu, classified the institution as a prison and penal colony, and therein confined people sentenced by the courts under the jurisdiction. So next slide. So on November 1, 1905, Reorganization Act of number 1407 was approved, creating the Bureau of Prison under the Department of Commerce and Police, integrating the old Bilibid Prison and San Ramon Penal Colony and Iwahig Penal. So the Philippine Coconut Authority took over the management of the coconut farm from San Ramon. So in November 1905, all the some imprisonment were reorganized, or they changed some prisons in the Philippines, and it is also the old Beribid prison, San Ramon and Iwahig. So next slide. So in 1995, Congresswoman Maria Clara Lubricat proposed the transfer of San Ramon Prison to Bongyao Town in the mountainous area of Zamboanga to give way to a special economic zone. So Maria Clara proposed that prisoner in San Ramon were moved into the area of Zamboanga for their purpose of special economic zone. Next slide. The San Ramon The San Ramon Prison and Penal Farms is situated in Zamboanga City, Philippines. It was established to house the Muslim, the Muslim rebels and prisoners opposing the Spanish leadership. The prison is right in front of the Hulu Sea and is pulled within a 1,414 hectare property. So next slide. So it was on August 21, 1869 when the San Ramon Prison and Penal Farm was built. Decades later, when the Americans took over the country, the Bureau of Prison was created under the supervision of the Department of Commerce and Police. So next slide. So due to havoc wreaked by the Spanish-American War, the penal farm was destroyed in 1907. It was then re-established and started to house prisoners from Mindanao by 1915. It was placed under the protection of the Bureau of Prison. So, due to American War, the prison was destroyed and it was re-established during 1915 and placed under the protection of the Bureau of Prison. So that's all. Thank you.